Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica here with JP of
Ganbatte Fitness.
And today we're going to talk about 5K compared to marathon kettlebelling. Me and JP are nerds. We're just going to throw that out there. He's a world-class nerd. I am kind of like a alternate class nerd.
You're a world-class nerd, bro.
So he does
Long-distance enduro racing.
long-distance enduro racing, Ironmans, triathlons, all these things like this. And we were talking about how to train without all the stuff that he has in this giant, awesome gym, Ganbatte Fitness. So JP is very, very, very good at coaching the barbell segments, the running segments, the sled segments. All of that stuff is lots of equipment with lots of economic input. So we were talking about how would you train to improve your 5K without that much economic input. I was talking to him about adjustable competition kettlebells and kettlebell marathoning. I started doing kettlebell marathons because I couldn't keep up with this guy at all in any way. So I had to find a way to make my heart survive the time frames that he is surviving. Kettlebell marathons are 30 to 60 minutes time. I have a whole giant thing about organizing kettlebell marathons, and if you watch this channel, you'll know about it, but I'm explaining this to JP, so you guys get to be here. JP's 5K time is 19 minutes. Easy 5K time. So we are directly in the 30-minute category. I would have him, so how is your 10K 38 minutes, or is it 40 minutes?
I think it's like 38.
38?
39.
So you're holding perfectly.
Right.
So his 10K time is 38 to 39 minutes.
Depending on the course.
Which you will notice is not much variation in speed at all, which is why he's a world-class athlete at this. So even this is in this time frame. Design considerations. Is what we're recommending in the time frames of what we're doing? Yes. When he's running, his heart rate is constant the entire time because he's holding pace.
Right.
If his heart rate is going up and down a lot, something has changed.
Right.
What I would have him do would be kettlebell marathon, and I would have him pick weights like 12K. He's very strong. He can swing 100K kettlebell, no problem. But I don't know where he would start, so I would pick 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and say 26K for kettlebells. And then I would have him start at maybe 8 minutes, add 2 minutes each time, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and 30 minutes. So then I would have him have a checklist of this whole thing. This would be a grid. And he would check off these things as he completed them in order to get better. I would have him focus on alternating stuff as I have most people focus on. I would have you do long cycle for 2 minutes and then some other movement for 2 minutes. I'm not going to have you do long cycle the entire time. I'm going to have you vary the movement each time. And so that would be, stagger clean, contralateral, and then it could be long cycle again, and then it would be stagger clean, ipsilateral, and we would come up with a giant series of movements. The point of this is that some of these kettlebells are going to be light, and your heart rate is going to be below 70%. When you're up here, your heart rate is going to be at 85%.
Right.
So this is a complicated trick. Your heart's already in very good shape, but no one of these workouts will have the exact same heart rate demand, but anything above this line here is going to be above the time required for you to do. By training this section down here, we will be going at 33% longer than we need to. So we will build even more endurance than we need. In theory, your race time period is only 60% of what we're trying to train. So I'm trying to overtrain the idea in order to get your 5K time to be only 60% of the time your heart rate can be under load.
Got it.
What do you think about that?
Got it. No, that's, my question is, how long, so you're saying 8 reps?
No, I'm saying this is 8 minutes.
Oh, 8 minutes.
10 minutes. So what this is, this is good, I have to explain this. So these are 60-second sets. Left, 60 seconds right, and you never put the weight down.
Single arm.
So you're very, very good, like most guys like him, are very good at more hard style movements, hard style single dip swings. Because we're training for this long time frame of 19 minutes, you can't hold hard style swings for 19 minutes. That would be like nearly 700 without stopping. Eventually, you will default to efficiency. This is one strategy that you could do of learning to be more efficient by never putting the weight down. So you're going to learn to recover as you move.
Got it.
Different.
Got it.
Of course, you would probably alternate something like this. You would do this 2 to 3 days a week, and then the other days would be EMOMs, interval trainings, hard style swings, or sled work. I would do sled work if you were doing this. That would be the best complement to this whole thing. But we would have your time frames covered. So what you're gonna learn to do is start with a super lightweight 12K, but by not putting it down, you're gonna change the way that you cycle. So think of this as a 2K row. Me and JP are always talking about rowing because we always row in this gym.
Right.
And I'm relatively good at a 2K row because most of the stuff that I do, 8 minutes isn't a long time. I'm used to not putting loads down for 8 minutes.
Right.
Does this make sense, JP?
That makes sense. You know what's interesting is with the way we program at the gym, everyone is so used to a sweet spot of 12 minutes. That's a sweet spot for now because that's where you can go 90% hard efforts, right? And it sounds like it's very similar to your programming. And like what you said, once you get to this domain, that's where enduro happens, because like that's where everything starts to collapse. Yeah. Right. Everything.
So in flow state training, if like gyms like FlowShala and stuff, they will push unending movement into the 16 and 18 minute range for the same thing you just said. Because this is where something clicks.
Yes.
Something changes at this point.
Correct.
You know it, I know it, FlowShala knows it.
Right.
Everybody who does endurance training knows that this is here. We all just call it slightly different things.
Right.
But the goal is to trick you into moving heavier weights for this period of time. And you're so strong, I would start adding weights out here eventually. And a lot of this light stuff might not actually be here. This block right here might disappear, but we'd have to test.
Gotcha.
Right? So this is a program written for no test. This is a program written for blind start. You have good kettlebell technique. If I just made you pick up a 12K and not put it down for 12 minutes, we would look at it and see what it was. And then the next time we would go, well, let's try it at 14K. And we would start to look for the break.
Gotcha.
Where the weight breaks. When the weight broke, if you were at 18, if it broke, say here, say 16 at 8, then we would consider all of this to be the heavy stuff.
Right.
And then, but we would fill in with stuff on this side of the square as light recovery training. Instead of having your 70% and your 80% days,
I understand. Yeah.
These would be your 70% days. These would be your 80 to 85% days. And your 95% days are on that category.
And then, just like what you said, once you get better, this line shifts to here.
Yeah.
And then my 70% gets bigger. Yeah. And that makes me stronger and faster.
You're not putting the weight down the entire time. We can make the moves directly sport specific. The thing that JP is always talking about is being good at running. It has a lot to do with core strength. Core strength, not just being the muscles in the front, being the muscles in the back.
Right.
So we would solve a core strength problem.
100%.
Anywhere in here is a core strength solution.
Correct.
It's all hamstrings, it's all glutes. And then how you pick the movements that you're going to do for this amount of time, determine. You can do different running drills for each minute on the minute. The main thing here is you just don't put it down, and you will force a physiological adaptation. And your heart rate will be in the zone.
Exactly. Yeah,
some of them will be heavier, some of them will be lighter. It will automatically cycle itself.
I love it!